You're listening to Tavern Sports Radio Network.
Show me the money! Show me the money!
Show me the money! Welcome to the 74th episode of the Show Me the Money podcast, brought to you by Tavern Sports. Welcome back, fellas. We're only missing Cole and Josh this week. Josh's on a little vacation. Clark's dunking Oreos over here, teasing all of us. Welcome back to another week. I know that we're gonna try and keep this fairly short and brief because or at least I have a lot of shit to do after this. So we're gonna start off with some UFC after we go over our lock of the week standings from last week. We are in a new season. So we did, I think, kind of start to decide on a challenge. I think we decided that the 999 challenge was going to be too difficult for some of us, or for most of us at least.
Howard point.
Yeah.
What is this 999 challenge?
I mean,
nine beers, 9 hot dogs, 9 innings of baseball.
Yep.
Fuck.
So for a guy like me, it's literally I cannot, like, my job is baseball. I cannot go to a ballpark and do that. I won't have that opportunity this year, unfortunately.
Fuck, you won't.
Cowards.
There's a minor league game somewhere around there. You can plant your butt in front of a TV late at night.
No, the issue is I'll still be working Cardinals
Cheaper.
stuff. So
Get thrown out of a Little League game like a gentleman.
Yeah, no shit.
Going to my nephew's T-ball game, 999.
Yeah, man. Come on.
Slow pitch softball league. I know there's one around there.
there are a couple. I've played in a couple of them. So they're quick though. If you could finish 9-9 in, like, those games are like 50 minutes long, that'd be impressive.
You need an Uber home.
Let's go over our quick standings from last week's lock of the week, though. Parker, Josh, and Ty all starting the season off 1-0. The rest of us took home a loss, so me, John, and Clark all 0-1. So a little bit of a slow
What are you
start.
going to do back there? What are you going to do back there? Huh? Remember when you did that to me all last season? Okay,
That's because you
Well,
won.
that's because you started like 0-6.
What are you doing back there? At the bottom
I
of your
think I
fucking
started
pile?
0-5.
What are you doing? What are you doing? Okay, figure it out this week, boys. Fucking cowards.
Jesus.
So
The
since
games were trash.
I am leader in the clubhouse officially, my lock hit first out of everybody's. We're gonna go ahead and say my recommendation is the dive bar challenge. Dive bar in a town you do not live in, or a dive bar you do not frequent, open to close, and you just hang out.
I'm in. I know, like, we might have to add in some rules to that, because there were, like, I have seen other rules where every beer you drink is like a half hour off or something like that. So we'll talk more about it, but I think that's the route that we're going in terms of
We'll be blacked out by 2 p.m.
We'll lose on purpose.
I'm going to the one in Burlington that opens at 6 a.m. and I'm just getting shit over with.
Hey, man.
Find the
I'll come with
third,
you.
Find the local third shifters bar and get the fuck after it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm telling Tristan I'm walking to his house after.
we'll talk more rules with it later, but let's get into some UFC talk is what we're going to start out with first. We got Mr. John Burris here on the podcast. Him and Ty are going to hopefully bang out some UFC.
Yeah. UFC 313 this week. Alex Pereira versus Magomed Ankalaev. Tyler, that pronunciation was spot on, in case you're wondering.
That was dead nuts, brother. That's one of the ones that you see enough that you can pronounce it.
I know you haven't had much time to dive into this card, so we're not going to get down and dirty in these prelims unless something has jumped out to you here in the last 5 minutes.
Well,
But
where's the official prelim starting fight? Which one?
it's this Jordan Santos versus Ozzy Diaz, which I believe is they're both
Sorry,
Dana White
what's-
Contender Series guys.
What's the main card start at? That'll
Main card starts at Bobby Green versus Mauricio Ruffy.
Okay, gotcha. So I like then from the main card. I definitely like uh, Armen against Bruno Ferreira at -140. That's a short number, but I really like that. Definitely has more significant strikes landed per minute. Reach advantage is about equal, but I also like the takedown accuracy being in favor of Armin. So yeah, I like him there as a short favorite at the -140 right now.
I'm on Bruno Ferreira here. I
That
like the
usually doesn't
value.
end up well for me, listeners, if we're on opposite sides.
So Petrosian is probably Ferreira's toughest opponent. I mean, granted, he's coming off a loss against Abus Magomedov, but he's beaten guys. You know, he's got a win against Gregory Rodriguez, who just fought Jared Cannonier. What sucks about Ferreira is he's one of those guys who he's always going to have a puncher's chance, and he's going to look like he's losing a fight, and he's pretty short for the division, and he'll just swing up and land like a major shot and somehow walk away with a win. So if you're on Ferreira here, I like him by knockout. So I don't know what the odds are on that. He's a +120 dog. I'd imagine he's like +250 by KO. I'm just totally guessing here, but that he was one of the dogs that jumped out to me on the prelims. So Bruno Ferreira to win by KO TKO +225. So pretty close.
It's a nice leg.
Yeah. I mean, it would not be
I wouldn't put in a parlay. I would
no,
throw
but
something on
I like that as
straight
a
up.
solo play. I don't know. I just like the height advantage, 6'3" to 5'10".
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's short. He's gonna swing up
That's
and
crazy.
hopefully land a big shot.
I think what's
Petrosian is coming off the knockout loss, the back fist spinning elbow by Jara Bullet. So Petrosian's a kickboxer, so they usually lay off for like 3 months. They're pretty active. But.
Ty, I know I don't usually hop in on the UFC chat, but is it weird to you that the reach from Ferreira's longer? An inch. I mean, it's only an inch, but
he's 5 inches shorter.
Yeah,
this dude's arms are fucking scratching his knees standing upright. All right, there are no pockets too deep for this guy. I'm just saying his arms are long as shit. But when you're throwing a punch up at somebody, it can be quite difficult. I'm not really worried about Ferreira diving at his legs, especially with Armin being a kickboxer. Like, he's dangerous from even in close with his legs. John, you mentioned it, like Shara Bullet is just a nasty striker that put him out, but Shara Bullet's on a completely just different trajectory in this division. So I don't weigh that against him too heavily. What do you feel about the over-under at 2.5 rounds here? They think this one's ending early.
Well, they think it's going the distance.
See, I'm seeing it's juiced to the over at +130 to go over 2.5 rounds.
I don't know. I see the over-unders. I look at it more as 2.5. I'm not looking at, which side they're favored. Like, I'm thinking if it's 1.5, they're thinking it's going to end early. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But it is interesting. If you like it to go the distance, you can get it at plus money.
All right. Anything else on the prelims? So in the second match of the night, Chris Gutierrez is a -120 favorite. Really like that just from he's a small guy, but he's going to look huge against this John Castaneda fella. Gutierrez is just a super experienced guy, veteran. I think -120 there is pretty good value. Myron Santos, I believe this is his official debut. He won tough last year. So we'll get to see him a little bit. -320 favorite. I don't like the value there. Ferreira, Petrosian, we already talked about. Joshua Van, I love Joshua Van. He's -175 favorite. This Ray Suriyar, I can't say that one. Nailed it. Screwed up that pronunciation. I think I saw some stat where like undefeated fighters are like 0-9 this year or something stupid. Like none of them have gotten a win in 2025. I think this guy won. What was it? I don't know. Road to the UFC. I believe he won that the Japanese road to the UFC. So
Yeah,
We'll see.
he
Joshua
won
Van's
road.
a guy. He's a young guy, really good striker. Super experienced for how long he's been doing this. I like Van by knockout. I don't know too much about this. I'll call him Ray. We're gonna call him Ray. Just
So
to
he's a
move on here.
takedown. He's a takedown artist, man. He's averaging almost 5.5.5, just to round up, 5.5 takedown average with a 50% takedown accuracy. So if Van can keep this fight standing, I definitely think it favors him because he has the significant amount of significant strikes landed per minute at 8.88 a minute compared to 2.28. Granted, a lot less fights for Ray, just the road to the UFC fights. But it's really going to be a style clash here. If they can keep it standing, I think this goes to Van. I think if Ray is going ahead and getting to the legs early, be a good live number to grab him at close to even money, and if he can control it where he's comfortable.
Curtis Blades versus Rizvan Kuniev. I kind of like the dog here too. Just we're looking for more contenders at heavyweight, and I think Kuniev is significantly younger than Curtis Blades. I guess he's not. He's 32.
2 years.
34. I think Kuniev is a contender series guy. Yeah, he is. So he's making his official UFC debut. I don't know. I'm a Curtis Blades hater. There's not a ton of value on this one, but I like a puncher's chance at heavyweight plus 250, especially a guy you don't know much about.
So he's got a weird one. Kuniev, he won in 2021 on Dana White Contender Series, Season 5. And then he disappeared. He went to the PFL and he won the regular season. Or no, he had a no contest in that fight. But then his last fight on Dana White Contender Series, Season 8, he won by knockout. So his last 5 fights were KO, no contest, submission win, KO win, KO win. That's dating back to 2020. But Curtis Blades is a hell of a guy to run into as like your welcome to the UFC party. A grizzled vet like that. I don't really love taking debut fighters, but at plus 250, probably even better at knockout. His chin's probably a lot better shape than Curtis Blades is. So if these guys start throwing haymakers, then I don't know. But I have no lean in this one, John.
All right. So I'm saying I just, Kuniev to win by KO TKO is plus 650.
I mean, with Curtis Blades, he's been knocked out in 2 of his last 3 fights.
Yeah.
So, and that's dating to 2023. He won by knockout in 2024 and then lost to Tom Aspinall in 2024 via knockout. So definitely like this fight to not go the distance, but I'm sure that is totally juiced.
That's what I'm saying. These heavyweight ones are tough. But that's what I mean. Like, you get these guys at heavyweight, like, okay, Curtis Blades is a pretty good wrestler. Like, I'm assuming Kuniev is Russian. He knows how to defend the takedown. When you get these guys that you don't know much about, just prospects at heavyweight, and you can get them juiced to plus 650, like, I'm probably going to lean that way.
Yeah, for sure.
So,
what do you got next for us, John?
let's get into the main card.
I like it.
All right, we're going with, I'm going to call him Bobby Green because I'm a hater.
He's not King Green. You
He's
can't.
not King Green. You can't name yourself King and then get choked out by Patty Pimbley. You just can't do it.
No.
Yikes.
He's taking on Mauricio Ruffy. I don't fucking know.
We'll go for Ruffy just for.
We'll say Ruffy. That's what I was thinking. Keep it. We'll keep it. So Ruffy is a fighting nerd. I don't know how much you know about the fighting nerds, but I have a rule in my household. It's never bet against a fighting nerd, and I don't plan to do that here. I am a Bobby Green hater. Okay, I'll admit it. I'm biased. Mauricio Ruffy is minus 125 to win by knockout. I think I need to responsibly bet my mortgage on that line. I think I need to take a loan out of my 401k and put it all on Mauricio Ruffy to win by knockout at minus 125. Like, those odds don't make any sense to me. which is why I'm locking it. So either fade me because I've lost my last 6 locks. Fade it if you want to. Couldn't get any colder. But I love that line at -125. I just think he's a much better striker. He's 10 years younger. He's got a 4-inch reach advantage. He's a fighting nerd. I just love that line at -125.
Yeah, worth noting 4 out of his last 5 wins via knockout. So he's younger. He's got a reach advantage. He's technically taller by an inch. King Green lands a lot of shots. He is a grizzled vet. I mean, but this is going to be the one of the times that I actually go against the rule of like these welcome to the UFC fights. He's -500 on the money line. -125 by KO is a hell of a prop. Via KO or decision double chance and a parlay looks real nice. I don't know the exact number on that, but that would be kind of where I'm leaning in this fight as well.
All right, do we need to talk about Amanda Lemos versus Yasmin Lucindo?
Nope.
Lemos is a +115 dog. I don't like to bet female fighters at underdogs, but it's Amanda Lemos, so I'm probably going to. Next one, Jalen Turner versus Bahamondes. Jalen Turner's a +110 underdog in this one. I don't know if you have a take here. I love Jalen Turner.
I am unfamiliar with both of these guys' games, so I'll let you see if you can steer me one way or another.
Both super good strikers. Jalen Turner's just fought a much higher level of competition than Bahamondes. He's coming off a loss to Manny Moicano back at UFC 300 in a fight that he should have won. He dropped him and then didn't follow up, and the ref didn't stop it. And Moicano stood back up and ended up finishing the fight in round 2. He pretty much murdered Bobby Green on live television, one of the worst stoppages I've ever seen. He had a split decision with Dan Hooker and a split decision against Gamrot. So I just like Jalen Turner's experience here. I think he's super good value at +110. This was my other lock if I didn't responsibly already bet my mortgage on Ruffy by knockout. Yeah, take Jalen Turner here.
Looking at just these two fighters' resumes are totally different. Like Jalen Turner is coming off of a lot of losses. However,
he's fought such a higher level of competition.
Jalen Turner 14-8-0, 10-4 by knockout, 4-0 when it comes to submission. So even if this somehow goes to the ground, he's still in good shape. He has a submission win in 2022. I'll ride the dog here with you. Short dog.
All right. Next one, co-main. Probably fight of the night. Justin Gaethje versus Rafael Fiziev. It's actually a rematch. We were supposed to get Dan Hooker here. He had to step out. Enter Rafael Fiziev, who is favored in this fight. He's a -170 favorite. He's been off due to a knee injury since September of 2023. So he's been out for about a year and a half, coming back. Gaethje did win this first one by decision, just outclassed him for 3 rounds, went the distance, which nobody was expecting. I have no reason to believe that this outcome is going to be any different. I think anytime you can get Justin Gaethje, assuming he's not fighting Nurmagomedov or some shit, like you take Justin Gaethje as an underdog every time. So I like the KO TKO decision double chance. I'm not sure what that is. It's got to be plus money.
I can get you him at KO TKO double chance.
TKO TKO on its own is +350. Decision is +350.
+140.
Oh, it's the same as the money line.
Yeah, +140.
Like, there's no way this guy's gonna sub him.
If you think he's really gonna win by knockout, you can get it at +350. If by chance you think there's a submission, you can bring it down to 320. But he ain't winning by submission. So
no shot.
I like Gaethje as the dog as well, especially being not on short notice.
Yep. Look at their takedown averages. Gaethje as 0.11 and Fiziev at 0.29.
Yeah.
Like this thing's staying on the feet.
I'll just take the fighter who's had a full training camp.
Love it. All right. Main event. Alex Pereira, Magomed Ankalaev. Who do you got in this one?
Man, until somebody proves me differently, I'm taking Pantoja. Ankalaev is
Pantoja?
Wrong fight.
Pereira?
Poatan is what I was thinking.
Go.
Poatan,
All right.
not Pantoja.
Poten.
I thought this guy was just
Potan. Jama.
Yeah,
Jama.
not Pantoja. I was trying to remember his nickname off the top of my head.
Poatan.
Poatan.
Jama.
Yeah. Give me, until somebody proves me otherwise, I'm going to take him 4-inch reach advantage. He has the height advantage. He's a better striker.
As the hand of God.
Yeah, he's a better striker. He has better takedowns. However, these Ankalaevs and Magomedovs, man, when they go into championship fights, they don't lose them, and then they don't give up the belt. So this is a horrifying one for Pereira, but give me Poatan. Give it to me. I'll even just take him money line at -110.
I like Pereira, but I'm a Pereira guy. Gun to my head, I think Ankalaev has more paths to victory here. I'm surprised he's an underdog. He has the wrestling advantage. If he decides to try to take Pereira down and just lays on him for 25 minutes, he's gonna bore his way to a decision, and everyone's gonna be super pissed off. The one thing we've seen with a weakness of Ankalaev is he's pretty vulnerable to leg kicks. You saw it against Jan Blachowicz. He couldn't walk. He was winning that fight, and Jan just came out with the leg kicks, and they ended up going to a majority draw. This is a tough one. I'm probably not going to bet this one just because I'll be too emotionally invested in it already. But this is definitely Pereira's toughest test. What's the
100%.
over-under on this one?
Ooh, over-under on the title fight is juice to the over 2.5 rounds.
I like it.
Yeah, -166 over 2.5.
I like the over.
So
Chama
you're
fourth
right,
round knockout.
John. You're right though. Ankalaev has way more opportunities to win because he can strike. I don't think he wants to get into a striking matchup with Pereira, but he certainly can strike. But you're right. If he somehow gets him on the ground, he would be able to lay on top of him. I think just positionally point wrestle, his way to a win, and it would piss off even the elitist UFC watchers would get pissed off by that.
Yeah, no one wants to see it, but it's definitely a possibility. So,
John, do you want to go ahead and say your lock one more time, just for those who did miss it?
Yeah, I'm going to take Mauricio Ruffy by KO TKO over Bobby Green at -125.
I like it. All right, John, we appreciate you having you on, sir. We're gonna feel free to stick along or head out for the night.
All right, see you later, boys.
See you.
See you, John.
This episode of Show Me the Money is brought to you by Tavern Sports, your place to get fun sports content, sportsbook lines and parlays, and of course food reviews with Big E's Ballpark Bites. You can follow Tavern Sports on Instagram at Tavern Sports 2023, TikTok at Tavern.Sports, and Twitter at Tavern Sports 23.
All right, fellas, we got about 40 minutes left to do all of our NCAA. You think we can do it?
Yeah, there's not a lot on for what is today of Thursday recording day. I haven't really seen much for Friday yet, so we don't really have lines. We'll just throw that out there. So just keep track of the lines. We're going to do our best. Give you some key matchups looking forward to here Friday and Saturday. But good games this week. So
yeah, absolutely. I think there's still some good games this weekend. One of the things that we are kind of heading into is I believe Saturday is the last official day for regular season NCAA basketball. Is that right?
It sure is.
Awesome. So right after Saturday, we go into a little bit of a I don't want to say a wait. We have tournaments. Like we have all of the conference tournaments, which are going to be a hell of a lot more exciting. We'll talk a little bit more about when we're going to film another episode next week because I'm not sure what day you guys want to do, but we'll get to that point eventually. Let's focus on this weekend first. Ty, you had made the rundown here. First game you got listed is a game that's happening tomorrow night, a Big Ten game, Purdue at Illinois.
Yeah, so Purdue, Illinois, this one made the sheet because of the Ken Palm projections. Trying to see if there is a true line out for this game yet.
Probably not, but
they have lines for Saturday games, but they have no lines for tomorrow night. So that is interesting. What do we have on there rundown wise? What's the projection?
So you didn't write a projection on here, other than their Ken Palm rankings though. And I would say Purdue is ahead in both of those. However, this game is in Illinois and there's not much of a difference. Well,
here we go. Ken Palm has this as a 2-point win for Illinois, which is interesting because Illinois 19th ranked on Ken Palm, unranked in the AP poll. Both these two teams similar in quad one opportunities. Purdue 7-8, Illinois 7-9. Purdue's the 12th ranked team in Ken Palm standings. They have the 8th best offense, but rougher on the defense at 51st. Illinois, on the other hand, 14th best offense, 32nd best defense. If I'm not mistaken, this will be senior night for Illinois. And it just seems like, going into the conference tournament, Purdue might be sleeping, looking ahead. I think Illinois gets this one on the money line, but my accountant Parker and I have a pretty swift, fast rule. Don't bet on Big Ten basketball because you never know what the hell is going to happen. So I like the idea of Illinois potentially coming out as a dog and being able to bet that.
They will.
But yeah, I definitely would like the points unless they follow the Ken Palm projection of having Illinois. Oh, lines just popped. They have Illinois at -3.5. I don't like them that much.
Ooh.
I would take them money line, but not at 3.5.
I agree. I wrote down, because I circled Illinois, but I wrote down +3 ? I thought they would have been a dog. So
no, they the Green Book just updated lines for Friday live. So that is as fresh of a line as it can get. I'm sure it'll get bet around a little bit different. I wouldn't be surprised if they get Purdue hammered at +3.5 early here.
I mean, considering we just watched, I don't know if you watched the Illinois-Michigan game.
Yeah.
That game was really good for Illinois. They just beat, what are they, the number 5? What's Michigan, 15?
It don't matter what you're ranked in the Big Ten, man. Those rankings are so skewed. Like that, just the whole. If you've watched the whole Big Ten from start to finish, like those rankings are so sham from the amount of times Big Ten teams get beat by 20 by unranked Big Ten teams. It's just kind of crazy. So this game should be a close game. I do believe it's going to be a close game. I don't think it's going to be a blowout. But no, just the Big Ten has just been so skewed. Illinois beat Michigan when they were ranked, but Michigan also got spanked up on by a couple other teams too. So it's just kind of hard to bet Big Ten basketball right now.
I just like how hot Illinois is right now. They went on a cold streak, but then they beat the shit out of Iowa, then Michigan. I just like how they're playing right now.
On top of it being a home game and senior night.
Exactly. So I think an emotionally charged win here for Illinois.
What are
trying
the
to get
odds?
themselves right in the college, get themselves right in the Big Ten tournament.
What are the odds on that money line?
For Purdue or for Illinois?
Illinois.
-180.
All right.
-180. And again, I think that number is going to change severely before before that game tips off.
Well, there's
Yeah.
a couple of more games that we can take a look at that are this weekend. Believe it or not, they do have lines out, which is pretty impressive. So, Ty, you have marked down next game, St. John's at Marquette.
Yes, that one unfortunately does not have lines out as it's not as prominent as the other three games that we have on here. But St. John's, number 6 team in the nation, 17th, according to Ken Palm, interestingly enough, they have the second ranked defense in the 71st best offense. So not the most high power offense, but it's Rick Pitino, it's March. I think he has these guys trending the right way. Marquette, on the other hand, 20th ranked team in the AP, 5-6 in their quad one opportunities. So neither of these teams great in quad ones. This is a quad one opportunity for both teams. Marquette, 26th overall in Ken Palm, 33rd best offense and 20th best defense. So it's good on good here on the defensive end of the floor. Potentially could leave it up to an under depending on what that line comes out at.
The Trends would agree with you on the under. They would also lean heavily toward St. John's covering the spread, whatever that does release as.
So the spread is not out yet, but Ken Palm projects this as a 2-point win for Marquette. I think that's mostly because this is a home game. Marquette's a lot better in tight games and covering tight games than they are big spreads. Marquette kind of is known a little bit for playing with their food as of late and not just beating these lower level Big East teams like we're used to seeing in the past. Shaka Smart versus Rick Pitino, really great coaching matchup here. They have played this game already this year at St. John's, which is Madison Square Garden, and St. John's won by 6. That was on February 4th, so we're just over a month out from that matchup. Going to be an interesting one.
Marquette has been struggling as of late. Last 10 games, they are 5-5. St. John's, the other way around, they are 9-1, so they're hot.
Is that ATS?
No, that's money line.
That's straight up.
Against the spread, last 10 games, each team kind of hovering right around 500. St. John's is 5-5. Marquette is 4-6. So you're probably better to bet a winner in this one. I would stay away from the spread just because it is 50-50. If you're going to bet on this game, it's better to hit the money line with it.
See, I'm in the sense of I need St. John's to lose one more game before going into the tournament. I think I actually said this about Auburn in their loss this week. Like it's good for a team to have a loss, right? Like one of these great teams to catch a loss late in the season to keep that team fired up and motivated. It's hard to like really want to get in and grind when everybody's just rubbing your shoulders. So I wouldn't mind seeing a St. John's loss here in the sense that I want them boys to get motivated. I want Rick Pitino to have another, spark to him to really light these boys up. So I think I'm going to lean Marquette on the money line. I think it's hard to beat a team twice. There's a potential we get a third matchup between these teams in the Big East tournament coming up this next week.
Yes. This is the one game I didn't really have a pick preset for myself, but I think I'm going to have to go with St. John here. I kind of do like what you're saying, though, how you want this team to kind of lose like Auburn did, like Iowa State did to BYU, and kind of just light that fire for the tournament.
Iowa State's lost enough this year. They're not 26-4, so. But
I like St. John here. I think this will be a tight game, though.
I'm going to agree with you, Clark. I like St. John's here. I like Marquette to keep it close somewhat. It just kind of depends. You touched on Marquette struggling recently, which they have been. They kind of struggled all year. I don't know. It kind of comes up with their intensity, how they want to play this game. But I like St. John's. I know we don't have any spreads yet. I don't think this one's out.
Not on this
no.
one.
And so I don't know. The spread's probably 4.5.
I would say it's probably even less than that. If
say
it's
it's
4.5,
two.
I'm switching my pick to St. John's to cover that.
I think it'd be 2.
Yeah, I can see 2 or 3 here. It is worth noting this game will not affect conference standings for St. John. Marquette is actually tied with UConn as far as conference records go. So it would be the difference between a 3 or a 4 seed. Potentially, if they both win, I believe Marquette has it. Even I don't know. UConn won on that game on February 1st, so I don't know. I think Marquette needs this win more so. No, UConn won both games, so they need a win, and they need UConn to lose to Seton Hall, which I don't see happening. But anything's possible, especially with this UConn team. So I like Marquette senior night. I like Marquette needing a win for conference standings. Yeah, that's kind of my idea with it.
Well, next game we got Ty. We do have a line for. We have number 19 Kentucky headed into number 15 Missouri. And let me tell you, as somebody who works with a lot of Missouri guys, or a lot of University of Missouri guys, I should say, they're very worried about this team right now. Headed into March, they had high hopes at the beginning of the year, and they have quickly switched to maybe not making it out of the first round. So this is
I think your coworkers are delusional. I think
They're good.
I think Missouri is potentially one of the scariest teams to get matched up with, as they can absolutely fucking fill up the hoop.
I kind of agree. They this
for
is
when they play Oklahoma, then they can't.
Yeah.
This game is a 3.5 point spread. Each of these teams are 5-5 in their last 10, and that's with the money line. That's not even counting the spread. 5-5 on the money line. It's going to be this is probably the best game of the weekend.
It's definitely up there.
Bama Auburn's the best.
Bama Auburn is definitely
right.
the best. Ken Palm, surprisingly, on their thrill ranking, has this game ranked higher. They actually have Alabama and Auburn at the 6th best game this weekend. So this does have the highest thrill score according to Ken Palm, which is interesting.
So I was right.
Little note there. So Ethan, I think your team or your coworkers are a little crazy. The SEC is tough, which is going to be interesting. Everybody thinks the SEC is world beaters. That includes me. But it's going to be interesting to see after they beat up on each other. There's a bunch of teams that have similar play styles to each other. In the SEC, Missouri is great offensively. They struggle defensively. They like to push the tempo a little bit. They're not crazy. They're 132nd out of 380. So they are a faster team. The only crazier thing is Kentucky's a little bit faster. Just barely faster, 29th average tempo. So this is going to be a run and gun game. It's going to really come down to who makes their threes, who doesn't turn the ball over. And
points off the turnover.
For sure. Kentucky does not turn the ball over at all. So I think if they can control the ball, it's going to be an interesting one. Missouri, they turn the ball over just a little bit more than Kentucky does. So I think that's going to be the key factor in this game is who's forcing turnovers and who, can keep possession of the ball. Kentucky does not force a lot of turnovers. Missouri does. So I'd like to see Missouri keep that tempo, maybe get a little more pressure on them on the defensive side. But Missouri needs this win. Lost to Vandy in overtime, lost to Oklahoma. So they need to go into the conference tournament with a win here. So I really like Missouri on home court to go out and get a win. They were just on the road for 2 games. They lost them both. Come home, rally together, and get right for the SEC tournament coming up. So I like Missouri. I don't like 3.5. I would rather
the spread?
Spread's 3.5. I'd take Missouri on the money line.
Yeah, this game could go for it.
Give me Caleb Grill in Missouri. I like the -3.5.
Okay.
Yeah, this game could really go either way, regardless of how you look at it. I mean, any one of these teams has the potential to put 20 on each other. I mean, these teams are just so good this year. I've been big on Missouri this year, and they started off real hot, and then they kind of hit this like back end drought. But I'm with Tyler, like you said. Lose a couple on the road. Let's bring it back home. Collect ourselves before the tournament. This is a big win here. This would be a big win for them to get. I think Kentucky keeps it close, though. I think it's going to be a close game, but I think Missouri pulls it out. But I'm with you. It's going to be a battle of managing turnovers, hitting your free throws, and just who's going to be that first team to score with that opportunity given to them and not letting up. Because that's kind of the downfall of both some of these teams that kind of let off the gas in that second half and kind of see it get nipped in the butt. But, yeah, give me Missouri.
I also like Missouri in this one. I'm going to like all the home teams, I should say, other than maybe Marquette. That's the only big question mark I would have. I'm leaning St. John's in that one, but I do like Missouri here. I'm with you guys.
Yeah, this one's going to be fast. Ethan, what do your trends say about the over-under?
They're leaning heavy toward the over.
Yeah, I would say the same thing. Ken Pom has this projected as a 169 total. No, 179 total.
Both of these teams are over teams.
169. I'm retarded.
both of these teams are over teams. Even in the last 10, they are over teams. Really, the only question mark they have on the over/under would be Mizzou at home is 10-10 on the over. But even then, I wouldn't worry about that. I think with March Madness coming up, I think these guys are a little bit tired defensive wise. Like I think the offense is going to be a bigger game for these teams at this point in the year up until next week when they have the conference tournament.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you there, Ethan. Like maybe they unknowingly get a little lax in this game just because they know they have such a deep run coming up. Both these teams are tournament teams right now, so I don't think they're necessarily going to be out smacking the hardwood unless it affects standings. So I'm trying to pull those up real quick. Missouri 10-7 in the conference. I hate how this is set up. They have Missouri 10-7 in the conference, Kentucky 9-8. So it's going to depend on what Ole Miss and Texas A&M do as well. That's kind of the 3-team logjam at 10-7. But Kentucky has the chance to throw their hat in the ring. Then it's probably going to come down to head-to-heads. So it really just all depends, what is going on with them standings-wise. So, yeah, I like the over here. I think the boys just run it up and down the court. I don't know if it's going to get gritty on the defensive end here.
I agree. Well, let's head into our next SEC game. We got number 7 Alabama versus the number 1 team in the country, Auburn. Auburn still by far and away looking like the best basketball team in the country.
Ethan, I agree with you. Their loss to Texas A&M, who's good all year, but going in as 10. What was their favorite number there, Parker? 6-point favorites?
That sounds
right.
I
think they were 6.5-point favorites. Yeah,
and they go out and they lose by 11. Potentially, they overlooked this Texas A&M team. It was on the road, but They got Alabama at home. They beat Alabama on the road earlier in February. So I don't know. Ken Palm has this projected as a 9-point win.
So there are lines out. It just out of that seems like a lot of points to me right now. 8.5 is what the line is right now in favor of Auburn. That seems like a lot of points against a Alabama team who is very, very good as well.
Alabama's very good, but they are struggling. We talked on our last
Yeah.
show that they had to run the gauntlet with Mississippi State, Tennessee, Florida, and Auburn. I didn't see them going 1-3, and they really need to win this game, to go into the SEC tournament without 3 straight losses. And that would also be 5 losses in their last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 games. That's a really bad stretch. However, they have one of the toughest schedules in the nation. So they are battle tested, but I don't see how they go down here into the jungle in Auburn and win. I think they definitely could cover 8.5 and make it gritty. Auburn won this game by 9 on the road, so I think that's kind of where they're getting their number from. But Alabama relies so deeply on the 3 ball, and they so much rely on not turning the ball over. You're going to get a tell early in this game. If Alabama comes out and is banging threes and is keeping the ball clean, there's a chance they win this one. So I think it's nice for Auburn. They're coming off a loss. They're going to be pissed off. They're going to want to rally, and everybody knows the magnitude of this game. So I think they let frustrations boil over a little bit at Texas A&M, getting a tech, just playing kind of sloppy in that one. And I think this is a really good game to come out and be pissed off for. So
I think the big thing that you're going to have to look at for this game is ball control. Bama is a little bit ahead in that category, not allowing steals on their offense. So that they're going to have to really key in on that, not allow turnovers in order for this game to play out that way.
Yeah, it's going to come down to it. We know what Bama wants to do. Bama wants to run the ball. If they get stuck in the half court, they're not as good of a team. They really have to be able to play transition basketball. They shoot the ball really well, 35% from 3. That's above the national average, but they've used to rely on it a lot more than – well, they still rely on it. They were making it a lot more last year. This team could definitely be deadly in the tournament if their shooters get hot. So I don't know about the 8.5, but I'll take Auburn at home for sure.
Agreed.
Right there on the same boat. 8.5 is a little too much for me, but I'll still take Auburn.
Yeah, I think we're all taking Auburn on here. I am with you though, Ty. Alabama does have a chance to win this game if they're knocking down shots early. I think Auburn has kind of struggled in those games that they lost, trying to come back from when they're down big. We've seen it last night with Texas A&M, or the other night with Texas A&M. Yeah, I'm not too sure. I mean, Auburn could take an approach of we're not going to play as hard getting ready for the tournament. I know their seed won't be affected off this loss because they have bounced that lead in their conference by a lot. So, I mean...
Yeah, they're locked in as the 1 seed.
Exactly. So who knows? I mean, if you got someone rolls an ankle in practice, they might not throw them out. You know what I mean? I highly doubt it, but there could be that possibility off chance. But I like Auburn here. Like with you guys, that's a lot of points. If they didn't get beat by 11 to Texas A&M, I'd feel way more comfortable taking them 8.5. But with them getting beat like that, I don't see it. I think it's going to be another 4 or 5 point game here, coming down to free throws in the end.
See, I'm the opposite of you, Parker. I like that they lost to Texas A&M. They might come out and cover this number.
I hope they do. Don't get me wrong. I hope they do.
To your point about the effort in this game, no, they don't care, dude. I live in this state. I promise you, Auburn could have gotten to a plane wreck and the guys would be showing up to the court in fucking walking boots and wheelchairs to play this game. There is so much hate in this one. I think the pressure's on Auburn. Everybody thinks they're going to win, expects them to win. They won the last one on the road, but you never know. It's the Iron Bowl on hardwood. It's going to be a battle for sure. So I think Auburn just has a lot of hatred towards Alabama. It's kind of like Iowa State. They're the little brother. When they get to beat us in something, they really make it a big deal. So I think they're going to really come out and fight for this one. So, but I like Auburn. I do.
Let's head into our last NCAA game of the night that we'll be talking about. Number 2, Duke at North Carolina. North Carolina has been a disappointment. Is that the right word for it? Not the typical North Carolina that we're used to, I should say. This game, is there a spread out on this one, Ty? Do you know?
There is a spread out for this one.
It's 11.5.
Yep.
Ooh,
my gosh.
Yikes.
Yeah. I like it.
It just shouldn't be like that anymore.
I think Cooper Flagg covers it by himself. 1v5.
UNC is 5-5 in their last 10. And actually all 5 of those are their last 5 games. They've beat Virginia Tech, Miami, FSU, Virginia, and NC State. So, and they've beat each of those teams pretty handedly. So UNC is definitely on a heater right now.
What did you say the spread was again?
11.5.
Yeah, give me UNC.
Oof. The UNC
really, they didn't cover last time.
UNC's
covered
not
10.5 last time they played.
Yeah, UNC's not good at covering the spread. They are 12-19 overall this season covering the spread. Duke 20-10, especially 8-2 in their last 10 as well. So they're even doing it well when they're losing. Realistically, they're covering the spread well.
That Duke manager that got in the game and banged a 3 on Illinois is going to drop 20 tonight against North Carolina. I'm calling it, man. I'm dicing them up. 2 made threes. I'm giving them 6 points.
So we talked about this when they played in Duke last time. Like the students camping out. We know what this environment's going to be. College game day is going to be there in the morning. However, we're talking about this North Carolina team. The latest bracketology, which came out on Tuesday, had them as one of the first 4 teams out. So they really need this game. They're 4th in the ACC. There's nothing saying they couldn't go and win the ACC tournament or get to the 2nd place. I mean, that runs through Duke. They'd also face Clemson, some other teams in there that are going to be tough for them. I don't think them losing to Duke would kill them in their chances. I think if this team loses by 3 or 4 even, it's a bump on their resume of like, hey, they were able to hang with Duke. It just doesn't do them any favors that Oklahoma and Xavier are both there in that first 4 out bubble. We're going to get a better idea of what the experts are thinking tomorrow when the next bracketology comes out as to where North Carolina's sitting. But they're definitely trending in the right direction as of late. But I just don't see how they are going to be able to outclass Duke in this one. I know it's the rivalry game. I know it said it doesn't matter however bad one team is, but Duke is the truth right now, at least in the ACC play. And I don't see that changing.
Yeah, I mean, you can even look at their head-to-head. It was a 13.5 point spread last time, and Duke covered it by 4 points. So, this, to me, it's clear that there's a choice here. It's Duke. It couldn't possibly be UNC this year. Maybe another year. This could be the first time in a while that we miss out on seeing UNC in March Madness.
They missed out just a couple of years ago. I mean, but
the run before Baycott, right?
Yeah, aren't they 2-2 as making the tournament goes in the last 4 years?
I think so.
I thought that they were almost like a lock every year, so I'm clearly
Not
out
as
of
of
it.
recent.
They've been slowly going down.
Yeah, I'm trying to find the exact number for them. They went in 2022 and made it to the finals, obviously. They made it last year, but trying to find tournament appearances. 21, 22, they missed 23, they came in 24. So they missed 2020, they went 21, 22, they missed 23, they were there in 24.
2020 didn't happen.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Fucking COVID. So they missed 2023. They were there in 2024. So if they missed this one, it's 2 out of the last 4 years they've missed. So, yeah. And then I don't think they made they made Sweet 16 last year. So they won.
It's going to be tough for them to get in.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be tough for them to get in. I think they
especially if there's bid stealers.
Especially if there's bid stealers. Bid stealers would be the biggest devastator for North Carolina, even if they somehow lose this game close. I think for them to get in is to lose this game. Well, win this game. Win this game, I think they're in no matter what.
Yeah, that'd be a big bump to the resume.
Yeah, I think they win this game, they're in. But if not, they're going to need a deep run in the ACC tournament. And I'm not really trusting that either.
I don't see that happening. I think this one's going to be a chalk for North Carolina. I think this is the end of their season. Have faith in the NIT maybe, but
damn.
If they accept it.
Yeah.
They've been there before.
They got to get through Duke, Louisville, and Clemson. So all three top 15
exactly.
teams.
And I like that Louisville team, man.
So I think they got to win this game, and I don't see them doing it.
Well, Ty, do you want to quickly run through the championship odds that you have listed or what they're currently at?
Sure. Those are some of the older ones from us, but it's nice to look at. The last time we talked about it, Duke was actually the second team. They're currently the favorite at plus 350. Auburn at plus 370. Houston and Florida are both at 800. Houston's odds haven't changed since the last time we talked about it. Florida's down from 850. Tennessee's down to 14-1, followed by Alabama at 15-1. St. John's is down to 25-1. Iowa State is up to 25-1.
Oof.
From 18-1. So, yeah, a lot of teams. Maryland sneaking their way in at 35-1. So, something that I like to look at that is different than that even is they don't have it now, but I was looking at it. It was like winner of the NCAA tournament, the field versus
like the top pick usually.
No, it was the field versus the SEC, and the SEC was plus 180.
That's not that bad.
And the SEC has 4 of the top 6 teams. So, yeah.
I would take that in a heartbeat.
Yeah, if you can find that at plus money, I definitely think go with the SEC and then sprinkle a little bit on whoever you like outside of the SEC.
Hey there, sports fans. Are you tired of the same old boring shirts? Well, we've got something exciting for you. Introducing the Tavern Sports Pocket Tee, where style meets passion for the game. Whether you're a diehard fan or just like the environment, Tavern Sports has got you covered, literally. The best part, because you're listening to Show Me the Money, you can use the code $$ to get 15% off today. So what are you waiting for? Head over to tavern-sports.square.site right now and elevate your game day experience. Tavern Sports. Beer, betting, sports.
Well, let's head into our lock of the week, fellas. We're coming down to the wire here. Lock of the week. Let's see if we can get a good one going this week. Clark, do you have one picked yet, or have you decided on an official lock?
UNC plus 11.5, I guess, unless I can get a better line, whatever the best line is.
Gross. 11.5 is. I mean, you'd have to do the math on that.
It'd have to be now. I can only see it going up.
Give me 11.5, but if I message you at some point tonight and it changes, we can do whatever.
For sure.
I'll
Park,
try and see if I can find nothing.
What are you gonna take?
I got us a Friday night game, well, Friday afternoon game. Give me Dayton at plus 9.5 against VCU.
Okay. Ty, you have a pick yet?
Well, I was looking for the MVC. I was trying to see what I could get Drake against Southern Illinois at, but that line has not came out yet, unfortunately. So I am going to take, I just had it up. Hold on, brother. Excuse me, brother. Going back in the weeds, Murray State got us home last week. We are going to take, scrolling, pause. I'm scrolling. Where'd you go? My baby? Where'd you go? There we go. Give me Hofstra minus 7.5 against North Carolina A&T.
All righty. And then I am going to rock with that Missouri and Kentucky over of 170.5. Like I said, both teams heavy favorites on the over there. So, and then did Josh send his lock in the chat?
I don't think so. Oh, Josh said he will take Auburn on whatever line is projected by Ken Palm.
8.5.
It was 8.5. It's in the actual sports book. So
Ken Palm projects them at a.
Well, they were a 9-point favorite. They got to be the same.
No, they don't have to be. Ken Palm does project it at 9, so we'll give it at 8.5 for Josh. Auburn 8.5, and then Cole going with the little spring baseball action.
Oh yeah, he went with.
He's taking the Cubs money line over the White Sox minus 120.
Incredible that that's a real line.
Is it the Cubs? Is it the White Sox or the Red Sox? Who do they play?
They play the White Sox.
Okay, so minus 120.
Yep. All right, that's going to do it for this episode of the Show Me the Money podcast. Thank you for joining, and we will see you.
Show me the money.
Show me the money.
Show me the money.